you have any weapons in the car or anything like that? Like a gun or anything?
I don't have no weapon. I don't even have a gun.
Okay.
I'm 19 years old. I ain't something talking about. If this is don't talk about, then the truck's over there.
This is a 19-year-old man caught impersonating a deputy and conducting illegal traffic stops. On January 1st, 2023, the Choctaw Police Department got a complaint of a strange man driving an unmarked car and claiming to be a sheriff. According to the report, the individual stopped at least 2 vehicles in the Choctaw area while dressed in full police uniform, including a duty belt and a ballistic vest. Deputies from the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office were called to investigate the situation and identify the culprit after a series of complaints. Soon later, 2 police approached the car as part of their investigation.
Problems, and the truck's over there. I'm just gonna take out the vest, and I'm from Tennessee. So,
why are you wearing the vest?
Like I said, I drove from all the way from Tennessee, but I'm not gonna have people call me when I don't even live in the damn state.
Okay.
Like, it's gonna piss me off.
You're a deputy sheriff?
Well, I mean, I work at the sheriff's office.
Okay.
So, I mean, what?
Were you a corrections officer for
Yeah.
the sheriff's office? Okay. Why do you wear a vest outside of the facility? Is this an agency vehicle, or is this your personal vehicle?
This is my Kia.
Body camera evidence indicated that the cops who first saw Jones were rightly perplexed and distrustful, as off-duty law enforcement officials wearing uniforms in public is unusual. The guidelines for employee personnel appearance, as stated on the official government website of Oklahoma City, do not specifically prohibit cops from wearing uniforms when not on duty. However, it can be suggested based on the standards for appropriate badge display, which indicate that badges should not be prominently shown while the employee is off-duty. It seems obvious that wearing a uniform as an off-duty police officer would be discouraged as well. Jones was questioned for verification of his claim to be a sheriff, and he falsely stated that his department did not give any documents to validate his position.
I understand that. I don't understand what's going on.
And you got alcohol in the vehicle.
Well, it's not mine.
Well, that's beside the point.
It's my girlfriend's. And I don't drink, so...
Well, it doesn't matter. You realize transporting open container, if any of that's opened or partially missing, that it doesn't matter whose it is. If you're in the vehicle with it, you can be arrested for transporting open container.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's not. I literally, it's not mine, man. She bought it. She lives up there in Luther.
Have you ever heard the phrase of when guys get hemmed up for drugs in their pockets and they say these pants aren't mine? You realize how stupid that is?
Clear traffic 0955.
Okay.
But
So let's stop saying it, all right?
I understand. I'm
Okay.
not trying to cause any problem. I want to go on my way.
The cop was watching what was going on when he saw an open bottle of alcohol in Mr. Jones's car. When this was brought to Mr. Jones's attention, he said it wasn't his, but the officer said it didn't matter who owned the alcohol because Mr. Jones would be charged with an open container violation if it was found in his car. After this conversation, the officer was worried about the sheriff's patch on Mr. Jones's bulletproof vest. He stressed that Mr. Jones was neither a sheriff nor had the power to make arrests. Also, the officer said that their drinking habits didn't matter, and he emphasized that carrying an open bottle, no matter who owned it, could get them arrested if it was found in their car.
So did you get out of your car or something here in the parking lot?
Okay, I got out of the car.
Yeah.
There's a truck that he looked at me. And that's all I did. I never said anything like law enforcement wise or nothing. He looked at me and he was laughing. So I just go to his car and I was like, "Did you eat me or something like that?" That's it. And I just walked away.
Okay.
The second cop on the scene asked Mr. Jones about the person who was said to be in a truck that Mr. Jones had stopped a few minutes earlier. This person would later be very important to the way things turned out. Mr. Jones said that the person had been looking at him, so he went up to the person and asked what was going on. It's important to note that Mr. Jones's version of what happened was very different from what the department heard, which was that Mr. Jones had pulled people over with bright lights.
See if he'll give us a contact number for a supervisor at work or something. I'm gonna shut this other door.
I wouldn't worry about the jail thing right now.
I really don't want you to do it with the beer part. Like I said, that it's not in my possession, right?
It is in
I
your
mean,
possession. It's in your car.
By you owning the vehicle, it being in your vehicle, and it sitting beside you, that is considered possession. I understand that.
And I've got
I'm gonna try. We're trying to work with you.
I know.
Mr. Jones gave the cop permission to search his car and said that he didn't have any problems with it. As a protection for the safety of the cops involved, the officer asked Mr. Jones to get out of his car and take off his ballistic vest. After this request, Mr. Jones was put in the back of a police car while the two officers who were already there looked into what was going on.
Alright, tell me exactly what you just said.
Because he was dressed like a cop.
Yeah.
He had a sheriff thing, but it had sheriff written on the side of it.
Right.
And I live on 62 off of Adam Road. He was sitting in a driveway
251.
right beside 62 Highway. And I pulled up and I was staring at him because he was in there kind of cockeyed.
As the officers continued their investigation, the subject who had initially made the 911 call pulled over in close proximity to them. They engaged in a conversation with the officers, and the entire interaction was recorded on their body cameras. It is worth highlighting that the sequence of events recounted by Mr. Jones differed significantly from the story provided by the subject.
Yeah, I already know I'm going to jail.
Alright. Turn around, face the other way. Put your hand behind your back. You're under arrest for impersonating law enforcement, alright? And then you also have a charge for transporting an open container.
Oh, my girlfriend could pick up my phone.
Not at this time.
You know how long I'm gonna be in jail because I'm from PC.
Okay.
Based on what the subject had said up to this point, it was clear that Mr. Jones had been pretending to be a police officer and had committed a major crime. The police now had a lot of proof that these claims were true. So the officers did what they needed to do and arrested Mr. Jones for the crime of pretending to be a law enforcement officer. They also told Mr. Jones that he would be charged for having an open container on him. Now, let's move on to the next story.
Oh, Mike.
Good, how y'all doing?
Yeah, she was the driver. He was in the pickup truck. He fell asleep.
Not hurt or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Need your license, registration, insurance?
That's it.
155 Berkeley, 28 West Virginia. Ocean 9 V Victor 311. Ocean 9 V Victor 311. Split on a silver and color Lexus. Oh. That's silver or tan?
Silver.
Okay. I was going crazy for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm good if y'all.
You're good. We're good, man.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, it's up one.
Thanks too. How y'all relate to each other?
We're just friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm actually driving that truck right there.
On January 6, 2023, Deputy William Henderson from the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office was sent to a traffic accident. A woman named Carrie Harmon was driving when she hit a low stone wall and used a concrete block to knock over 3 fence posts, a mailbox, and a bush. As seen on video from Deputy Henderson's body camera, the Berkeley Fire Department was the first to arrive at the scene. Even though Miss Harmon didn't seem hurt, she slurred her words and moved slowly. This wasn't a big deal at the time, but it continued throughout the meeting, as we'll see.
Greatest emergency seeking of, however, we did not locate her name attached to any of the cats.
One 14, 137. You make contact with
Still, Deputy Henderson asked Miss Harmon if she had a favorite tow truck company. She said that her father, Nathan Harmon, would take care of the problem. Nathan Harmon is a Berkeley County Sheriff, which suggests that Miss Harmon may be depending on her father's power and influence to stay out of trouble. We'll talk about this a little more later. Then Deputy Henderson went to his police car to check Miss Harmon's pass through dispatch. After being inside for a few minutes, he came out and gave her a sheet asking for a written statement about the traffic accident. One thing that stands out about this situation is how unconcerned Deputy Henderson seems to be about the traffic accident. He did not directly ask about the details of what happened, nor did he look into the situation fully. Even though Miss Harmon showed signs that she might have been drunk, no one thought anything of it.
Is your neighbor's home, you think? Or?
I think she's home. She's a nurse.
Okay.
I went over there after I got phone 911.
Okay.
Knocking on the door and ringing her doorbell. But I haven't gotten an answer. She's a nurse, I think, in Winchester.
Okay.
So I don't know if she's...
Yeah, I just gotta leave her some information, that's all. So I just I see the vehicle, but so.
Yeah, that's the one she regularly drives.
Okay, thank you.
At this point, Deputy Henderson went to the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office and got a digital camera. Officers often use these cameras to take pictures of accident scenes to go along with the written accounts from patients or witnesses. Deputy Henderson did a good job with many of his duties, but he forgot to find out if Miss Harmon was at fault for the accident or if she was drunk, which were both important parts of the investigation. Continuing with the incident, Deputy Henderson walked up to Miss Harmon's car as she was finishing her written statement. The two talked briefly about what happened. During this talk, Miss Harmon made a claim that a deer might have been involved. She said she either veered into the wall while trying to miss the deer or hit the deer on the right side of her car.
This should have hit me. I'm telling you. For it to look like that, it's gotta hit me. I saw them up on the right-hand side, and I'm like, oh no. It's either swerve or you hit it.
Oh, man. You gotta watch yourself because you got open shoes on. Oh, can you sign that down the bottom for me?
What's that?
I just need you to sign it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think you just put a date on there.
I got you.
When Miss Harmon used her broken windshield to back up her story, Deputy Henderson quickly shined his flashlight on it, but he didn't see any signs that a deer had hit the car. This made people wonder how a deer could have gotten away from the accident without getting hurt or leaving any blood. Deputy Henderson seemed to have the same doubts when he stopped for a moment to look at the window, but he decided not to ask Miss Harmon any more questions about her questionable claim. Instead, he looked around the car and made some notes. At this point, Sheriff Harmon showed up, and things started to get strange and hard to believe. Sheriff Harmon tells Deputy Henderson that there is something he needs to look at inside Miss Harmon's car. Without saying anything, Deputy Henderson gives Sheriff Harmon his lantern and lets him come up to the car and get in. South Carolina law says that what Sheriff Harmon did could be considered messing with evidence, which is a very bad thing to do. To make matters worse, Sheriff Harmon asked Deputy Henderson if his daughter was inebriated, to which Deputy Henderson reacted with laughter, indicating that it did not appear so. Subsequently, Miss Harmon's vehicle was towed away and the scene was cleared. The investigation concluded that Miss Harmon had failed to exercise caution while negotiating a turn, and she received a warning for her careless driving. However, the situation took a concerning turn when portions of a Snapchat video shared on Facebook showed Miss Harmon expressing gratitude for her father's presence at the scene, implying that Sheriff Harmon may have intervened in the investigation to protect his daughter from the consequences of driving under the influence. In response to these suspicions, Sheriff Harmon issued a statement a few days later, claiming that he responded to the scene purely to ensure his daughter's well-being and denying any interference or direction given to the investigating officer. The official report released by Deputy Henderson did not indicate any suspicions of drug or alcohol use, and Ms. Harmon's driver condition was deemed normal without any effort to confirm her fitness to drive. Notably, the report did not support Ms. Harmon's claims of a deer strike, contradicting her written statement that she was following a car when she was hit by a deer on her right passenger side. And now comes our third story. In this story, a group of children in Lorain, Ohio were subjected to police harassment on the excuse of jaywalking. However, further investigations proved that the event was staged by the police officers involved. On February 15, 2023, a 16-year-old kid and his cousin, and a friend, crossed West 27th Street and made their way to the boys' residence. An unmarked police car containing a Lorain police officer and an agent from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives drew up to the scene, according to surveillance video from the family security camera. The cops attempted to converse with the lads, but they already were inside the residence and the officers were unable to make contact. Mary Hildreth, the 16-year-old's mother, watched the incident from the front door and approached the cops to inquire about the issue. Notably, the kid showed no symptoms of escaping the cops, instead quietly entering the house when the car arrived. This particular element becomes important as the situation progresses. The cameras get a clear picture of the cops coming and of Miss Hildreth's first talk with one of them. The video makes it clear that Miss Hildreth asked the cops what was worrying them, and they told her to bring the boys outside so they could talk.
I'm still in the window as he's halfway through the yard coming in here. This car flies up out of nowhere. Don't say nothing. As I'm already down here, they're jumping out, getting ready to run around the house. I come to the door and say, what's going on? We want the boys to run out. I said, my son, what's the problem? He's a minor. We got to talk to him. I said, what is the problem? It's a traffic violation. I said, what do you mean? Can I have your name back? Then he's screaming and yelling. I said, you don't have to scream and yell at me. I'm an adult. That is my son. What did he do wrong?
After conversing with the officers on the scene, the supervisor returned to Miss Hildreth, exposing the dishonesty of the officers. Initially, they had claimed to stop the boys for a minor jaywalking violation, but now the supervisor implied that their true motive was suspicion of firearms due to the boys playing with their waistbands. The surveillance footage ended, and the verbal exchange between the supervisor and Miss Hildreth continued. It became evident that the officers realized their mistake and hastily fled the scene in their patrol vehicles without issuing any jaywalking tickets. This incident revealed that the officers simply wanted to harass the boys using the guise of neighborhood safety. Sadly, Miss Hildreth was unjustly charged with obstructing official business, a charge she vowed to fight in court.
The law is for everyone to follow, and no one is exempted from it, not even lawyers. No matter how intelligent they think they are, karma always gets them. Can attorneys get away with anything? Can they sway a ruling in favor of their clients or even themselves? Watch the video to see how these attorneys get owned by cops for breaking the law.
Las Vegas attorney in some trouble for a series of alleged late-night rendezvous with one of her clients.
Hal Uhrig, an area criminal defense attorney from Orlando, made headlines all over the country. Hal Uhrig, who represented George Zimmerman in the Trayvon Martin shooting incident, was arrested on various charges, which included soliciting perjury and tampering with a witness or victim. Marcos Lopez, Osceola County Sheriff, said that Uhrig took on a case involving a man named Krishnath Prasad, who had been charged of raping a 9-year-old girl. Uhrig was accused of holding a meeting with his client, the victim, and her father. Uhrig tried to cut a deal to keep the suspect from going to jail. During their meeting, Uhrig instructed the victim and her father to do 3 things. Firstly, to write a declination, that is a letter to the state attorney saying that the rape never happened.
Basically a letter to the state attorney saying the rape didn't happen.
Secondly, to avoid being served a subpoena so that they didn't have to go to court to testify, and lastly, to lie during their deposition and say that the rape didn't happen. According to Lopez, he wanted to make sure this guy didn't go to trial for rape. He added that Mr. Prasad committed the sexual battery at a time when she was 9 years old. And this is what caused Mr. Uhrig to work a deal out with the victim to try and get Mr. Prasad off on a lesser charge so that sexual assault battery cases will go to trial, and this will be a separate trial against the attorney. Even after being pressured to such an extent, the victim decided to come forward and report the conduct to the state attorney's office in July of 2021. Osceola County started an investigation against Prasad's attorney on the basis of the victim's complaint. The victim's father engaged in a controlled phone call with Uhrig and said that he couldn't talk on the phone about any specifics and wanted to meet in person. According to the officials, the father wore a recording device during his meeting with Uhrig, and during the meeting, the attorney made him turn off his cell phone and told the father to read a script off of his computer screen.
He wore a recording device, the victim's father. During the meeting, the attorney made him turn off his cell phone.
Lopez said that the script was his defense for when he goes to court on the charges. However, fate had other plans for them. Prasad, who was arrested back in 2019, is working his way through the court system. On the other hand, Uhrig is accused of soliciting to commit perjury, which is a third-degree felony, and also for tampering with and harassing a victim, which amounts to a capital life felony. Given Uhrig's 40-year-long career, this might not be the first time he has done something like this. According to Lopez, if you're an attorney, you've been practicing law for a long time, and there's no way you're going to jeopardize your career on something like this, especially at that age. Especially at that age, it's retirement time. So I think this wasn't his first rodeo. Unless someone else comes forward, we won't know that, but that's what I suspect this time. The next attorney in line is Alexis Plunkett. This topsy-turvy case involves a 38-year-old attorney from Las Vegas named Alexis Plunkett, was indicted with 2 counts of conspiracy to unlawfully possess a portable communication device and 12 counts of a portable telecommunication device by a prison. The charges relate to her visit with her 28-year-old client and boyfriend at the time named Andrew Arevalo. This man was shot in the face by a high-state correction officer in 2014. He also faced felony and weapon charges and was awaiting trial. His case was represented by Plunkett in his lawsuit against the Nevada Department of Corrections in connection with the shooting, which resulted in another man's death. During her visit, security camera footage shows Plunkett handing over her phone to Arevalo. Now, this is a felony that could land her in jail for a year. However, her case took a complicated turn. Even though the couple started off as boyfriend and girlfriend, they were experiencing rifts in their relationship after her phone was examined by the police. It seems that she is trying to put a hit on Arevalo. Her text messages about her joking about felonies led her to her downfall. Some of the texts read, "I've placed hits in every Nevada prison on Andrew with every homie and lifer I know." She further added, "This pause will never survive in prison now. He's F with the wrong bit. I am not the one. I represent all the sure knows and he's gonna get it." However, one of the people in the group asked her to delete the message. He said, "Alexis, this isn't funny. I know you are under a tremendous amount of stress, but I'm not interested in joking about felonies. I don't think anyone is either." She replied, "I am not joking. That's why I said to delete it. He said he was going to have me murdered, so I'll take care of business first." Plunkett's attorney Adam Solinger said that her messages show that she was under great stress and she was only venting about the bad situation she was in, and that her words shouldn't be taken as a serious threat. Despite all of her 14-count indictment, Plunkett was dismissed by the district judge Michael Villani. However, she was shockingly arrested again for charges of bribing or intimidating a witness, which is a felony. According to her lawyer, her guilty plea comes after reaching an agreement with prosecutors. The agreement is a good resolution for all sides involved. It's the choice that she made that's best for her, and I respect that. Ultimately, it came down to being tired of continued litigation. Fighting a war on two fronts takes a toll on you, and remaining in custody pending your trial and resolution of your other case is really hard to do. She pleaded guilty of possession of a telecommunication device and was ordered to serve 3 years of probation and was later disbarred. In the next case, Christopher Reynolds, a 44-year-old Florida attorney, shocked everyone. He was accused of stealing nearly $800,000 from his clients. He was arrested by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office for multiple charges, including money laundering and grand theft. He started his private practice in Seminole back in 2015, representing victims of vehicle crashes. He had dealt with at least 16 clients before they had their money stolen by Reynolds. It was back in October that the detectives came to know about the theft when one of Reynolds' clients came forward. The client complained to the authorities that her lawsuit for $100,000 had been settled months earlier. However, Reynolds never notified her about this. The investigators made a shocking discovery. Reynolds had forged his client's signature on the legal documents and collected the money from insurance companies that should have been disturbed to pay medical bills and provide other compensation related to car accident. This was a similar pattern for most of the clients that had availed his services. Once he had settled his case, he would disappear without a trace, never to be seen again. He would neither pick up the calls or respond to the voicemails, and would cut off all forms of communication he had with the client's eye. In another incident, the lawyer pocketed the woman's $100,000 and continuously lied to her in the communications before it abruptly stopped that he was going to solve this with the insurance company. He also forged the woman's name on settlement documents, and he never paid her medical bills with the settlement money. His highest theft amounted to $148,750 from a client back in 2019. Sheriff Gualtieri claimed that the clients must have had serious injuries for their settlement money to be in 6 figures. Now, what did he do with the money he stole? The answer will shock you. The lawyer had a drug abuse problem. He used a portion of the stolen money to purchase drugs and nearly spent $30,000 on pornography and $424,000 on prostitution. Sheriff Gualtieri later commented, "They're licensed to practice law. They've got the boxes checked. They've got the credentials. They've got the credibility that goes with that, and they're really just a thief who is ripping them off." These are not isolated cases. Many lawyers who are corrupted and have been cheating people for years are roaming free in this world with no one to put a check on them. What do you think of these lawyers? Were they punished approximately? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to press the bell icon and subscribe to our channel for future updates.